Welcome back, everyone. It's been a while. I'm here once more to give you an update with the latest Phasmophobia Chronicle update, which is dropping tomorrow, the 24th of June. So let's get into it. This is one of the biggest updates of all time in this game. It changes everything and it changes the way you play the game altogether. It's an amazing update. When I had a go at it for the first time, my jaw was on the floor. So I'm really excited to give you a little bit of sneak peek as to what you can expect in the Chronicle update. I will be going through the most important updates and things that I believe will help you understand how the game has changed. I don't want to give away too much. I am still unfolding more and more that the game has added. So I think discovering things for your own is going to be much more exciting than me just telling you everything. We'll get into the nitty-gritty of things, but I won't go into too much detail. But let's jump into the patch notes first and foremost, unfolding everything that has been added to the game. So the core of the Chronicle update is our complete rework of how media is gathered and rewarded in Phasmophobia. A brand new piece of equipment has been added along with 2 new types of media, videos and sound recordings, as well as a revamped challenges and progression system. So the sound recorder has been teased for a while and people have been dying to play with it. So it's finally here. It's here. It is very awesome. And it honestly changes the way you play the game. So with regards to media photos, media has been split up into 3 different categories in how you record ghost evidence, or should I say media evidence. So you have photos, you have videos, and you have sound recordings. There will be certain things that have been removed from how you capture photos in the media section. I'll be touching up on that as well. So as an example, you can no longer photograph disturbed salt. It is now something you'd have to capture with the video camera instead. The maximum photos a player can take in an investigation has been reduced from 10 to 5. So this is also to accommodate the other types of media evidence that you can capture. New types of photos can be gathered. So EMF reading on an EMF reader. So before we could take an interaction photo. So interaction photos are no longer a thing. You would then take a picture of the EMF reader once it detects EMF activity from the ghost. You'll see in the screenshot below under the media photos here from what I'm reading. 3 ghost forms: physical, dots, and shadows. So your ghost photo is no longer just a ghost photo. It now comes in 3 different forms in which you can capture on the photos, which is pretty cool. The photo types below have been moved to video media and will no longer be able to be photographed. So light switches, door movements, thrown objects, and ghost interactions with various objects. The cool thing about the video evidence is that it gives you a little bit of a nudge to show you like, hey, the ghost did something or something's happening, you should probably hit record. But I'll show you that in a moment as we go through the patch notes. So we're going to touch on video evidence, video media. The first new media type introduced in Chronicle is video recording. Using the Tier 1 to Tier 3 video camera, players can capture unique video during an investigation. A total of 5 videos can be captured in a single investigation. To capture video footage, players will need to hold down the use button while aiming the camera at the spot they wish to record. A new icon will display on the video camera, encouraging the player to record. So your use button, for those of you who don't know, is holding down your right click on mouse or holding down, I think it's your right trigger on console. So holding down the use button will then start recording. And this is the same controls for the sound recorder as well, which we'll jump into in a moment. Below is a selection of recordable evidence during an investigation. So when the ghost is hunting, when it triggers, so if it eats the crucifix, ghost orbs, throwing objects, doors being moved, ghosts interacting with objects, rocking chair, gas canisters, etc. A light source, shattering, the exploding light bulb, ghosts blowing out a candle fire, and more. So They obviously didn't give away everything that you're able to record, but it'll be a fun way to actually figure out what you can and what you can't record. Like, once again, it gives you a little prompt to tell you this happened, you should probably record the evidence, which is really cool. Sounds. Coming into the sound section. The second new evidence type is linked to Phasmophobia's newest piece of equipment, the sound recorder. Using this new piece of equipment, players will be able to capture up to 3 sounds per contract. They'll be able to be played back from the sounds page in the journal. The sound recorder itself will be available from level 4, with its tier 2 and tier 3 iterations available at later levels. Players can find the sound recorder in the store once Chronicle has been downloaded. The sound recorder can capture the below sounds during an investigation: paranormal sounds, a hunting ghost, ghost events, and spirit box responses, which is really cool. Something I would also say you can experiment and see what else you can also capture with the sound recorder. It's very, very cool. CCTV. Alongside the introduction of video media, we have overhauled the CCTV system found within the truck during an investigation. CCTV overview split into 3 sections: CCTV cameras, video cameras, and head cameras. I really like this because the one thing that I know all of us used to battle with is when you go through the camera feed, it would only allow you to go forward, you wouldn't be able to jump backwards. So the fact that it's actually split into 3 different categories is really big. So kudos to the team. Thank you for introducing. I think this is something a lot of people have been asking for. This is a complete game changer. Players can now view up to 5 different live camera feeds. Video media can be captured from the desk. So all those things that you were able to record while holding the camera inside the location, you can do the same thing inside the van. So for those of you who are van campers and just love being in the safety of the van, or if someone needs to get AFK, your job is no longer redundant. So there you go. Your van duties have been elated, and you once more serve a purpose of being in the van if you're maybe just a little bit too scared or not used to, or if you're new to the game. Nothing wrong with that. Sitting in the van, it's a great way to capture evidence and to help your team now. Unique media. An important part of this update is to create a more immersive ghost hunting experience by removing some of the frustrations players encounter while capturing media. To achieve this, we are replacing the star rating system with the unique system. Players can now receive a unique stamp for media captured for the first time during an investigation. If the same piece of evidence is captured, it will receive a duplication mark and will reward less money and experience. To achieve a perfect investigations, players must fill their journal with unique media. So you would have to fill your journal with unique media for photos, videos, as well as the sound recordings. Do all your side objectives, collect the bone, and obviously correctly identify the ghost. So that will be the new requirements in order to complete a perfect investigation, which is now more of a case of I need to make sure that I'm not duplicating my evidence. And also something else that they secretly added over there, you can now delete up to 3 types of media instead of 2 photos. So I'm guessing 1 for each type, or 3, deleting 3 of whichever, which I like the idea that they've now changed it from 2 to 3. That's great. It would be even better if it was maybe 4, but you know, one thing at a time. It's fine. Rewards and progression. Chronicle introduces changes to the overall progression system. So for rewards, using higher tiers of the photo camera, video camera, and sound recorder will reward players with an additional monetary bonus. All media rewards are now included in the reward multiplier. So, you know, better equipment, better rewards. Progression equipment and the corresponding tiers are now unlocked earlier. Example, Crucifix Tier 3 and Incense Tier 3 are now both available to unlock at level 80 instead of 90 and 85 respectively. So they've changed some of the levels for which things get unlocked, which is fantastic for players like myself who was still slowly prestiging to 20. Tier upgrades are now unlocked in groups of 2 or 3, giving players the choice of which upgrade path to follow first. These changes will allow new players and prestiging players to have options for upgrading equipment instead of forcing a more linear upgrade path. I like this. I like it. Challenges and optional objectives. Another part of the Chronicle update is our review of optional objectives and in-game challenges. While the rotational challenges will remain the same, we now have the ability to introduce unique challenges throughout the year. These could include increased XP events, equipment-focused challenges, sound recorder, video camera, etc., update launch challenges such as Chronicle live as of the 24th of June, which is tomorrow. Progress from Tag Your It will be wiped and replaced with On Record. These changes to the challenge system also allow us to override challenges if an issue is found during any given week. With optional objectives, we've made several adjustments, introducing new challenges and changing existing ones. Further changes and improvements to optional objectives will be made in a future update. So, new objectives are capture 3 unique photos with a photo camera, capture 3 unique videos with a video camera, capture 2 unique paranormal sounds with a sound recorder, and capture a video of a ghost. So no longer just a photo of a ghost, but a video. This will be pretty cool because, sometimes capturing a photo of a ghost is not the easiest thing to do, but capturing a video of a ghost while it's hunting, I think, is much more achievable. So I like it as a risk taker. I like this. Changed find evidence of paranormal activity with EMF to capture a photo of an EMF reading on an EMF reader. Nice. While the meat of Chronicle focuses on our reworked media system, this update brings it with a host of meaningful changes, bug fixes, and various other improvements. Read on to find out what else is new for Phasmophobia. New user interface improvements. The main menu has been reworked while retaining the same functionality. So I showed off a bit of the main menu, or actually we'll show off a little bit of the main menu. So you've got your single multiplayer and the training area now in the main menu, which has, it's very outstanding and it's much more noticeable and it looks good. You've also got the little, which we'll talk about it in a moment, the little Twitch drop section. So if you're not aware, Twitch drops will be live as of tomorrow on all Kinetic Games partners channels, including mine. So I'll be showing you in a moment, or actually I'll be posting it on my social media what you're able to get, but it's a very special, unique badge that you'll be able to earn from watching my channel from tomorrow for, I believe it's approximately a week. So there's many cool things that they've changed to the main menu and things that are much more noticeable that people may not have, been able to see with the old menu. Players can now set the play style, casual, hardcore roleplay, and hardware preferences when creating a room. This is very cool. So, sometimes you're just looking maybe for a chill game, or you're looking for people that like challenges or stuff. You can then create your open lobby to your exact preferences that you want for when you're playing Phasmo. Players can now filter the above options and difficulties on the lobby browser. Good stuff. Players can now see the difficulty or multiply if using a custom difficulty of a lobby when browsing in the room browser. Nice. Players can now see the currently selected map of a room from the room browser. When using text options instead of voice recognition, the relevant gamepad UI buttons now flash when pressed to give the visual feedback on the button presses. Twitch shops are now live! Many new sounds. Check your trophy cabinets. VR players can now grab doors from any position on the door instead of just the door handle. This is great because I've played VR before and having to aim for a specific spot on the door is not always the easiest, especially when you're trying to run away from the ghost. Changes. The crucifix now visually cools down after successfully preventing a hunt. Consoles now default to the last selected region rather than the region with the lowest ping to match PC. Phasmophobia will now be able to load on Steam without an internet connection. So we're going to go through the list of fixes. It's a very long list. It's super duper long. I know some people are not always interested, but it's really good to know the things that they have changed, because usually with most updates things do break. So it's good to know when things are actually being fixed, because you know, as an early access game, things can always go wrong with all these exciting things being added. It's not always perfect, but they are working hard at making the game as great and flawless and effortless and smoothless as possible, so that we have a really great playing experience. So I'm slowly going to go through the list. If you want to check it out with me, and let's go. Fixed an issue in Point Hope that restricted player movement when holding the large pan from the kitchen. Fixed an issue that would cause salt to be placed in the air. Fixed a visual issue where the CCTV screensaver would appear outside of the monitor. Fixed an issue that would cause cursed possessions to be thrown out of a player's reach in Bleasdale's attic. Fixed an issue where bones would spawn behind inaccessible locations on the following maps: Tanglewood, Point Hope, Maple Lodge, and Willow. Fixed an issue that allowed for infinite sprinting after using the monkey paw. Fixed an issue for VR players where the Tier 3 Firelight, Tier 3 Incense, and the Voodoo Doll would swing oddly while held. Fixed an issue where a cabinet door would not show as open for non-VR players if opened by a VR player. Fixed an issue that prevented headgear from being unusable by other players if a player was disconnected or died. Fixed an issue that prevented dots and motion sensors from being picked up if placed inside static lights, example ceiling lights in Grafton Farmhouse. Fixed an issue that caused hunts to appear if a player was outside the door on several maps. Fixed an issue that caused hunter breath to be visible after being killed with extended hunts on. Fixed an issue that caused the sword to scroll while in the tutorial. Fixed an issue that allowed items to be thrown through the outside wall of reach view. Fixed an issue that caused the Ouija board to not break when asked a question that would take the player to below 0 sanity. Fixed an issue that caused items to get stuck behind the TV in Tanglewood's living room. Fixed a visual issue that caused overlapping text when using the Ouija board. Fixed an issue that listed the UV lights in the wrong order in the main menu. Fixed an audio issue that caused flies to be heard when master volume was set to 0 on Maple Lodge. Fixed an issue that sometimes prevented a ghost from moving rooms when wishing for sanity with the monkey paw. Fixed an issue where the ghost could become stuck in lockers in prison. Fixed an issue that prevented the player from being killed when hiding behind the chair in prison. Fixed an issue that allowed the Obake to walk backwards during a hunt. A pro was just trying to moonwalk. Fixed an issue that caused lights to turn off when a crucifix is used. I've actually gotten so used to this bug that it's going to feel very weird adjusting to that, because I know this is something that has been in the game for a good while, but RIP knowing when the cruci is being used. Fixed an issue that prevented seated VR players being able to reach the breaker box in Sunny Meadows. This has now been adjusted to be reachable. Fixed an issue that caused the music box to be broken if the player left a previous game while using it. Fixed an issue that caused the Tier 1 crucifix to clip under carpets. Fixed an issue that caused the ghost to become stuck behind crates during a hunt on Maple Lodge. I've actually seen this happen. Fixed an issue where left-handed mode in VR would not correctly swap button layouts. Fixed an issue where the ghost could begin a ghost hunt on Maple Lodge and be out of bounds. Fixed an issue with the camping chair found in the yellow tent in Maple Lodge. Fixed a UI issue that selected random as a player's map choice when they are navigating menus. Fixed an issue that prevented players from mounting video cameras on tripods when playing in VR. Fixed an issue that caused the music box to flip when placed on a carpet. Fixed an issue where other players could see it, a dead VR player's journal. Fixed an issue that caused difficulty lighting incense in VR. Fix an issue in VR that caused the tier 1 flashlight to be angled incorrectly when attached to a player's belt. Fix an issue on VR that when teleport grab is turned on, caused incorrect interaction with doors. Fix an issue for VR players that cause inconsistencies with door handling if grab types were not synced. Fix an issue that allowed the player to stand in small tents, maple and woodwind, and prevent the ghost from killing the player. Fixed an issue that caused inconsistencies with the door interaction points in VR for small tents, maple and woodwind. Fixed an issue that caused the Ouija board to not provide a correct number when asked how many people are in a room. Fixed an issue for legacy players that prevented them from setting legacy options if the EULA splash screen was displayed. Fixed various issues in VR training mode that caused interaction problems. Fixed an issue that allowed dead players to hear a heartbeat while stood next to the ghost. Fixed an issue that caused a player to become unready if they opened the journal in a multiplayer lobby. Fixed an issue in VR when teleporting movement, players would drop all the equipment. Fixed an issue where equipment belonging to a VR player would appear on the floor of the map for non-VR players. This was a very weird thing. Fixed an issue that prevented the Raiju receiving a speed increase around held electronic equipment. Fixed an issue that caused the most deaths to stat not display correctly for some users. Fixed an issue that caused the ghost model to not be visible at distance during a hunt. Fixed an issue that would cause tripods to become unusable for all players if a camera is placed on them by a VR player. Fixed an issue that displayed Spirit Box UI when opening the journal, requiring the player to close the game in order to proceed. Fixed an issue that prevented players from reporting other players when using a gamepad or playing in VR. Fixed an issue when playing in VR where fog would remain after using the monkey paw, I wish to see the ghost, reducing vision for the player for the remainder of the game. Fix the issue where the tick of the apocalypse icon would now display after completing gold. Various other fixes and improvements. So lots of fixes, lots of good ones, lots of ones that maybe some of you weren't aware of or you are aware of. Jumping back into the Chronicle update. So there's been many things added to the game besides the big media changes. There's also now new display cabinets. If you haven't checked it, well, you guys wouldn't have seen it. What am I saying? Let me just show you. I don't want to give away too much, but all those really cool achievements, all 54 of them, is now displayed in the display cabinet. So, you know, if you're not an achievement hunter or if you're working towards the achievements, I would say just, you know, put yourself out there and get it, because it's worthwhile having a complete selection of things now on the display cabinet. It looks really cool. I'm not going to go into all of them, but I would highly recommend going for those, grinding for those achievements. We also have a new CCTV camera and everything. So the CCTV rework now shows you the different tabs for the different cameras. So while you're within the video camera section, if you've placed a video camera down, you can now record media from within the van. You can also place, I think it's up to 5 cameras within the map, and you can scroll through them. So all our van campers, you now have a dedicated job. Good luck, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be really fun. So all you have to do is you can record your evidence, you can record the dots, you can record interactions. The list is endless. It's very easy, it's very cool. Just make sure your teammates have set everything up for you, and yeah, enjoy. So with regards to the sound recorder, there are many different things that you can record within the game. You would then use your use button to turn it on, and then hold down the same button to start recording your audio. There's also lots of different things that you can record. I don't want to give away too much, but using the sound recorder is very cool. I feel like this update has made the game just so much more immersive. So the sound recorder you can unlock from level 4, even if you're just using the tier 1. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. With all that being said, besides all the media update, there's been new ghost sounds added to the game. I've captured 1 or 2. The paramic noises are now different, and there are also ambient noises, which instead of hearing ambient noises through the paramic, which you could hear throughout the map, you can now hear all sorts of noises throughout the map without the paramic. They're new and they are scary. I don't know what else to tell you or show you, but to check it out for yourself. Overall, this entire update has been amazing. It's one of the biggest updates, and I look forward to playing so much more of this game and what it has in store. But before we leave and before I jump off here, there is a little sneak peek that I want to give you. There is new screenshots which we were given to show off the Grafton rework. So Grafton, if you're not aware about Grafton being reworked as well, which is alongside Bleasdale, which was released a few months ago, it is also getting a little bit of love. However, Grafton is going to look very different to Bleasdale. Very, very different. So enjoy the little slideshow of the rework of Grafton. I'm going to leave you on a little bit of a cliffhanger over there. And thank you for watching the video. I really hope you all enjoy the update which drops tomorrow for everybody. Make sure to come over to my Twitch channel to earn your Twitch drops. Twitch.tv/OtterLady, one word. You'll be earning a new badge with me, so make sure to come over, come say hi, tell me what you're most excited for the update. Make sure to also like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. I will try my best to upload more Phasmophobia related content, as well as some of the other stuff that I get up to on my channel. But thank you so much for watching. Otherwise, I will see you guys pretty soon, and have a good day.